We're going to see how he goes today. Was pretty good yesterday. Still day to day, but making great improvements. Really making good improvements. So we'll go today and see how he does, and then see how he responds tomorrow.
How has he been not being able to play? It's got to be tough for him.
He's chomping at the bit, you know what I mean? And, you know, the most important thing is when we bring him back, he's ready to go, you know? And again, as I said after the game, that's on our medical staff. They're the ones that make that decision with Alexis in terms of how he feels. And at this point, you know, they got to trust a little bit what he's telling them as well. So we'll put him through some stuff and see how he responds today, how he looks out there, and then really the big thing is how he feels tomorrow morning heading into our shoot-around in the game.
What do you think of the other guys, the other young guys stepping up in his place the past 2 games, doing some really good things? Yeah,
you know, obviously very pleased with, you know, those guys seizing an opportunity. You know, one of the things we talked about in the beginning of the year, how important our depth was going to be. And I think David talked about it in the last game. You know, we have 3 or 4 guys that can carry the load offensively at times for us. But, you know, your depth comes into play on the defensive end, on rebounding. When guys are out, you know, with an injury, someone's got to, you know, be able to step up. And it's not just one guy. It's everybody collectively doing a little bit more. And I think that's been the greatest response from our team is everybody's doing a little bit more. Everybody's rebounding a little bit more. Maybe the defensive intensity is a little bit higher, and maybe a greater awareness of what we need to get done. Because, you know, you can say what you want. I mean, he's our leading, Alexis is our leading rebounder and 3rd leading scorer, and has done a great job of scoring around the basket for us, and can stretch the defense now with being able to make some threes. So we've had to make a few adjustments, but our guys have responded well.
It's been about improvement and winning the games, but now you can actually get to the part of the season where, you look at the standings, and these games can keep moving you up. Do you talk to the guys about that, or do you think they kind of know what's up?
Well, I mean, obviously in this day and age, there's an awareness of what's going on, you know, in a bigger picture outside of our, you know, 2-day preparation for games. But, you know, I think one of the things this team has been great at is staying focused on the task at hand. And I think that's one of the reasons we've gotten better. You know, we haven't looked ahead and said, okay, in this next 4-game stretch, or we just taking it game by game. This is the most important game that we play all year long, because it's the only game that we play on Wednesday night. And our guys have done a great job of that, even with the new guys, even with the lack of experience in terms of being a cohesive unit. They've really bought into that, and the leadership has been the ones who have been driving that.
Coach, 2 questions about the ECU game. Late in the game, it looked like LaQuincy landed awkwardly. How is he? And what was the call when that kid fouled Mayon with his nose? Was it a cylinder call?
Yeah, so, you know, at this point of the year, you're in February. Everybody's banged up a little bit. You know, even with our depth, our guys have logged significant minutes. So, you know, as a coach, you got to make sure that, you know, practices are still sharp, but you're staying fresh, fresh bodies, fresh minds. And then the guys have to, as I talked about at the end of the last game, our guys have to take ownership in that as well, getting into extra rehab and the recovery stuff, all those amenities that they have here. So, you know, Q was a little banged up after that game, but he's fine. With the foul, it was a cylinder foul. You know, we had one of those in the SMU game. They originally called a foul on the defense or on the offense when David was guarding the ball. He got hit, but he was in, when they reviewed it, he was in the cylinder. So they take the foul off the offense and give the ball back to them. I wasn't so happy on the SMU call, but I was really happy in the ECU call.
Could you speak a little on UCF? Got a couple of spectacular guards. You guys are going to have to probably bring it from the beginning against them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, picked to win the league. Preseason player of the year in Taylor. You know, a team that last year was an NCAA tournament caliber team, no question about it. Just besieged with injuries, and it derailed their season. So they've come back with a little bit of that feeling still, in their heart and in their mind, and they've played extremely well. With the big fella inside, he causes a lot of matchup situations that you're just not accustomed to. And as good as he is, those other guys have played very well. Colin Smith has had a great redshirt sophomore year. Obviously with Taylor, a premier guard in our league, a redshirt senior. They are very experienced. They're either a senior or junior or whatever class they're in, they're a redshirt in that class. So add another year of experience, another year of development and practice, another year of physical maturity. So they are a physically mature, very disciplined team. They're great defensively. They can really score on offense. And then you add Coach Dawkins' his son to it, who's an elite scorer. He was a great player in the Big Ten. And so they got all the bases covered, and you just got to make sure defensively we're going to be really, really challenged, and we got to do a great job on the glass.
Speaking of the big fella, how do you prepare your players for that? None of them have gone up against him. You've known him since he was like a sophomore in high school.
Right.
And until you're next to him, you don't realize how big a human being he is, and you can't replicate that in practice.
No, you can't. And you just you go about your preparation and you talk about it, and then the guys go out there and they got to get the job done. There's nothing you can do to prepare for it, other than show them the film and talk about it and try to work on some different actions in their offensive schemes and how we're going to guard it. But until you get hit in the chops with that elbow, which is his elbows are at our head. You know what I mean? That's just the reality of it, and the one thing is, he's 300 plus pounds too. So you can't push him around either. So you got to go out there and there's going to be some times where there's not much you can do, and then you just got to move on to the next play.
Coach, you've seen plenty of rivalries coaching in their conferences. How does this one compare to USF and UCF?
Well, it's at the infant stages for us right now because we haven't been very competitive on our rivalry side, and we need to pick that up, to make this thing, something special. And it's an important game for us. I know it's an important game for them. And you look at the football where it's been the last few years, and it's been tremendous. That game is, great to be at, great excitement. And it's kind of created a national brand, and it's, as I said, it's great for both universities and it's great for our conference. I think this basketball rivalry is going to get there because out of anybody in the profession, there's no one I respect more than Johnny Dawkins and what he's all about and how he builds programs and the type of guys he has and the way he does his business. I think it's going to be two really good programs that are going to bang heads on the recruiting trail, and then twice a year, maybe 3 times a year.
I know we still have plenty of season to go, but I feel like every press release or every story that I see on this basketball team, there's always some kind of skid that's been broken or snapped. Do you ever step back and think, wow, from year 1 to year 2, you've definitely made improvements? I know there's still plenty of season to go and there's still plenty left to attain at some point, but do you ever step back and go, wow?
Yeah, I think you have to, because if you don't enjoy it, then, what are you doing it for? But it's a short period of enjoyment, and then you move on, because I agree with you. There's a lot of basketball left. I talked about it last night. Yeah, this is a big game and all that, but we still got 7 league games left, 1 other game, the conference tournament, hopefully the postseason. So there's a lot of basketball left to be played, and I think, as I said, I'm excited because we keep getting better. So I'm excited to see how good we could get by the end of the year. But if you're not taking pride in these initial steps in the program that we want to build, then you're missing out. And I'll probably enjoy it a lot more in May. But I know everybody's in our program is proud of where we're at, but not satisfied, which I think is a good feeling.